Hello, and welcome to the World Cup qualifiers in Europe, UEFA in September. This is the second video that we are doing, and today we are going to analyze the games we have on Monday, the 8th of September, and on Tuesday with Ronan Murphy. Hello, Ronan. With Alain Valnegri. I would like to ask you about Slovakia, Germany. What happened, guys? At the end, Slovakia was not that bad, eh? We had already some comment. Can't bet on Germany anymore. Actually, even they struggled to beat the Northern Ireland at the weekend. But we have some exciting games also to analyze in this show. For instance, Israel, Italy, we have France, we have Portugal, we have England. So some big names in this video. So stay with us. A lot to discuss, a lot to talk about here. So press the like, subscribe, and now let's go on with the show. And the first stop is in a country that we all love, I think. Greece playing at home against Denmark, Group C. And this one is a tight one because in our previous video, we analyzed Denmark, Scotland, and we thought Denmark was going to win because they were very strong at the Parken, but it was not the case. It was a goalless draw. Surprise we didn't see, for instance, Højlund also starting the game against Scotland, and well, away they suffer much more. They recently lost to Portugal, they drew with Serbia, to Switzerland, and Greece is scoring plenty of goals. And actually, Alain, the bookies place Greece as favorites for this game.
Yes, Greece is in a new era. Greece is have amazing model of play. It's a really offensive team with a lot of talent. I don't remember a Greece with that degree of talent in the attacking line. And yes, Gustavo Poyet worked really well. He was really near to bring the team to the Euro. And in the continuity, we saw a team with a lot of confidence, really confident. And is the opposite of Denmark. I trust in Denmark in the first game, but Denmark have a lot of problem when Denmark must to attack in positional attack. Denmark is a transition team. Is a physical. Is a team need to run, and maybe against Greece we can see that configuration of the game, and maybe it can be an advantage, but for Denmark. But I don't trust in Denmark. I trust in Greece. Historically, Denmark super in Greece. The last victory of Denmark in Greece was in the 1983. For that reason, I choose Greece winning 𝐋𝐞𝐿 odds 1.80.
Okay, so draw no bet for Greece. If there is a draw, you get your money back. Plenty of goals, as Alain was saying, 5 against Belarus, 4 against Bulgaria and Slovakia, and 3 against Scotland. So in the last 12 games, Ronan is 10 wins and only 2 defeats for Greece. It's impressive, actually.
Yeah, and the way they're going about these wins, like Alain have said, their attack looks kind of different than the attack that we expected of Greece of old, or anyone who remembers back to Euro 2004 and Greece kind of boring their way to a title. They've come a long way kind of since that. Then it's a different sort of a project for Greece, a different sort of style for Greece, and it's great to see. But I think Denmark, it's hard to look past experience sometimes, and I know it's a cliche, and we hear football pundits saying it, and especially on the English one, the English pundits talk about Premier League experience counts for more in the Premier League and stuff like this. But Greece haven't been at the World Cup since 2014. Denmark have been at the last 2 World Cups. So this is a team who know how to get to the big dance and to get there. So I think you can never write Denmark off. And I know they had a disappointing result at the weekend, but we kind of predicted that it would be a low-scoring affair, that it's hard to go to to Denmark. It's hard to go to Copenhagen and get goals. It's just that Denmark weren't able to score a goal of their own, and that's usually a fortress for them. And they're on the road. They haven't been as good. Their last away win was against San Marino last October, or the previous October 2023. So they haven't been great on the road. But I think they could pick up a point here, and that could tie into Alain's draw no bet. I think Denmark double chance might be worth a look here, because you can never write off Denmark. I know Rasmus Højlund has been disappointing, but maybe he can find his best chance again. I think this will be a low-scoring affair, despite Greece's high-scoring matches recently. It's much harder to score against Denmark than the likes of Scotland or Bulgaria. So I think this will be one with a few goals in it. So I like the look of total goals under 2.25 as well. That's 191. But for this one, because I think it's kind of going to be a close affair, it's going to be a tight match. And I had a look at the corner stats in the previous match. Greece, in their match against Belarus, they just kept shooting and shooting. They had 12 shots in the first 25 minutes against Belarus. In total, they had 13 corners in the game. Belarus actually had 7, so even though it was 5-1, Belarus were able to get some corners themselves. Denmark had 13 corners in their game against Scotland. Scotland had 4, so there were massive amounts of corners in the 2 games at the weekend for these teams, or late last week for these teams. So I like over 9.5 corners at 205.
It was already 4-0 at the 35th minute. It was easy peasy for Greece. We have some comments. Greece at least to score 1 goal. According to Eric, 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 is going for a draw. And Tony, looks like perhaps actually his last name is Danish. He's telling us that Denmark missed 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜 in that game. 𝗀𝐻𝐿 is going for both teams to score. This is an interesting group because, as I said, it's very open. We have Greece, Scotland, and Denmark all ready to take the first or the second spot. And of course, Belarus with no option. In the next game that we are going to analyze is Switzerland, Slovenia, and here is with Group B, and this one is kind of open as well because we have Sweden that got a draw against Slovenia and Kosovo with no options. So in the direct clash in this group, they are going to decide who is going to the World Cup. For Slovenia was a really positive draw against Sweden because they got the equalizer in the last minute with some big names, as we know in Slovenia. Oblak, Sesko just arrived to the Premier League. Lovric, for instance. And Switzerland was very easy 4-0 against Kosovo, with also some names that we know. Ronan, 𝗵𝗏𝗏, Akanji, for instance, both in the score sheet in that game, with Vargas also in the lineup. And the bookies give Switzerland really low odds, actually.
Yeah, I think the odds kind of are harsh on Slovenia, especially that after that performance they put against Sweden, which I think Alain correctly predicted in our last show. He expected something like that to happen. And yeah, Switzerland, I know they're coming off the back of a 4-0 win, but yeah, Kosovo, and there was another match that kind of started early, and Switzerland got out to a good start and were comfortable for large parts of it. And 𝗵𝗏𝗏, like you said, he scored twice in that match. He's now up to 20 goals for Switzerland. He scored in each of their last 4 international matches. So he is on an excellent run of form, and he was a deadline day mover. He moved to Rennes from Monaco after kind of a disappointing time at Monaco. He's had a really kind of bizarre week. He was up in court. He was appealing a sentence that was handed down against him for assault. He was allegedly broke someone's nose in a fight and sentenced to 3,000 Swiss francs and 2 years probation. So his appeal failed in that one. So yeah, he put all that behind him because that only happened last Wednesday. He scored twice and he could score again in this match. So as long as he can do his talking on the field instead of punching people, he could be a good option as an anytime goal scorer, 250. I'd like to look at that. Switzerland are a team who score early in matches. They've scored 4 goals in each of their last 3 games. 4 came in the fourth half against both USA and Kosovo, and they led Mexico at halftime in June 2, winning 4-2 in that one. And Slovenia, they seem to go behind in matches. Like you said, they had to come back against Sweden. They came back against them because they were 1-0 down at halftime in Ljubljana on Friday. They've only scored 1 first half goal in 2025. That was the 1-0 friendly win over Luxembourg. Benjamin Šeško. I know you talked about his big move there recently, but he, despite his 16 international goals, none of them have come against a team as good as Switzerland. None of them have come against a team who at the time were in Nations League A. He scored against Serbia, but they were both playing in Nations League B at the time. Yeah, he's never scored against a top team, and 5 of his international goals have come against Kazakhstan. So I don't think he's going to score against Switzerland here, or if he does, it's not going to be in the first half. So I'm going for Switzerland to win the first half at 2-0-5.
Alain, what is your take for this game?
Yes, in my opinion, Swiss will be suffer more than the game against Kosovo, because Slovenia is really well organized team. In the last 2 years, they lose only against Norway 2 times, and in the extra time against Portugal. In the Euro, we saw Slovenia made good game and limited the biggest team like England. And Slovenia in the Euro never lose a game in the 90 minutes. And against England, against Portugal, is really uncomfortable. Slovenia super more when they must to do the game. Switzerland must to do the game. Switzerland must to right now try to catch another 3 points to have the advantage against Sweden, because the run for the Euro is Switzerland and Sweden lose two points in Slovenia, but we will be understand if Slovenia can be the black cat about the group. And yes, Switzerland against Kosovo is a special game for Switzerland, because a lot of players in Kosovo are former in Switzerland. In Switzerland national team, you have a lot of players with origin from Kosovo or Albania. And the last 10 days before the game, Abdullalu, the player former Basel, choose Kosovo and play this game. And some player from Kosovo in Switzerland, like Chaka, was really upset and so motivated for this game. And we saw Switzerland really aggressive in the first half. I asked me if Switzerland can start the game with that great of aggressivity. They don't sold a lot of ticket for this game. Yakin called to the people to go to the stadium, because the stadium right now is half empty. In spite of that, Switzerland is favorite, but in my opinion, Switzerland can be suffer against that Slovenia. For that reason, I choose Slovenia winning with the handicap 1.25, odds 1.85.
All right. We have 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 telling us both teams to score an over 2.5 goals. Goals in both halves looks realistic to me for Penchev. Let's move to the next game, Israel-Italy. This is a very interesting one. Also on Monday, because be careful, we've had so many games already in this group. This is Group I, topped by Norway with 12 points, then Israel with 9, 3 wins and 1 defeat against Norway, and third, Italy, 2 wins and 1 defeat. So 6 points because they lost 3-0 to Norway, and we saw Italy winning against Estonia 5-0 with Gattuso on the bench. We saw Retegui scoring a brace. We also saw 𝐬𝐭𝐴 𝐾 in the team, and these teams met recently. Alain, we saw Italy beating them 4-1 in the Nations League and suffering a little bit more in Israel, 1-2 away. What are your feelings about this new Gattuso era? I guess we are not big fans of Gattuso as a manager. Actually, we see his CV is far from impressive, far from having the credit, I think, to manage a national team like the Azzurra. But I don't know if you've seen something, or the team needs the character that Gattuso has, for instance.
Yeah, it's the reason. It's not for recently results. because we saw in Croatia, in Valencia, in Marseille, Gattuso like manager is difficult. He's beginning of career and he's really young to be a manager of Italy. But Italy can be worst is the question. What is missing in Italy? 2 World Cup without Italy. 10 years ago, nobody can believe that. And now, yes, it's a quality crisis, is a personality crisis, and I think the team play with a block in a mentally way, and probably Gattuso can be the manager to unlock that, because Italy doesn't have the dominant player like the past, but Italy have good player, and to go into this World Cup, I think Italy have the quality to go to this World Cup. But right now, it means winning every games and winning 4-0 against Norway the last game, or you go back to the playoff, and playoff is not a good memory for Italy for the World Cup. Now the run is against Israel, and tonight Italy must win or win, because without a win tonight against Israel, it can be really difficult to finish second in this group. Against Estonia, I see an Italy with a dynamic Italy, with high grade of motivation. Some player want to go to the World Cup, and after the drama in Norway, I think is a good answer about the team. In the offensive way is my biggest question, how they will play with Retegui, Kane, more Raspadori, with Raspadori and a striker. Yes, is my big question, because Israel this year, in the last 7 games, Israel are improved that lose only against Norway. There was in the game during 60 minutes against Norway. Italy was not in the game during 60 minutes against Norway. And now, yes, it's the game win or win. And I trust in Italy. I trust in Raspadori. I saw a really good Giacomo Raspadori in Bergamo against Estonia. And for that reason, I choose Raspadori, score or assist, odds 1.80.
Actually, if we look at the lineup, Ronan is far from the Italy that won the World Cup, for instance, in Germany, but it's still a good team with Tonali, for instance, in the midfield. And well, players like Raspadori or 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 also. 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 scored plenty of goals last season with Fiorentina.
Yeah, I think part of the reason, like Alain said, that Gattuso was hired was to give that kind of passion and that determination. But maybe he's the superstar. The superstar is actually in the dugout rather than on the pitch this time around, because they don't have these big names that they've had in the past. So maybe the ideal way to manage a team or to lead a team like that is with someone who will kind of push them on, will give them that level of motivation, maybe that a more tactical coach might not have. But if you're playing for Gattuso, you can't really hide, or you can't really make the same mistake more than once. I think there could be trouble for that. And yeah, the way they went down and lost against Norway, it kind of makes things so much more difficult for them in this group, because Norway are playing Moldova on Tuesday, so there's huge pressure on them to get a result in this match, because if they weren't, they could have 7 points and Norway could have 15 points. There could be 8 points adrift of automatic qualification for the World Cup if they aren't to win here. So they need everything to go underway. And I think hopefully one of my bets ties into Alain's, and Raspadori couldn't set up Retegui for a goal, because he scored twice against Estonia. He's been scoring in Saudi Arabia since he moved over there for €65 million in the summer. He's a player that is capable of scoring for Italy, so I like him as an anytime goal scorer, 238. But I think this is a match that Italy need to win. They need to make a big point to Norway and the other teams in the group by winning. So I think they are going to score plenty of goals. So maybe Raspadori can get a goal and an assist just for Alain. I like the look of Italy Asian handicap -1.25, and that's nearly coming in at 2.
It looks like Italy is heading towards the playoff again, and this is not good memories indeed for Italy. 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 Italy to win and over 2.5 goals, but it would be another disaster, especially with this World Cup with so many teams involved. If Italy are not able to qualify, Italy to score 2 goals also for Patrick. Now we are gonna jump into the games we have on Tuesday, and the first one to analyze is France-Iceland. Here the odds are very, 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 very low. For France, only 1.11. There has been a lot of discussion around France and the injuries and the players in the pitch, perhaps not at 100%, but France had a tough game that we analyzed last week, and they were able to beat Ukraine 2-0 away. 𝐬𝐵Appé is still on fire, scoring in every single game and really good goals with Dembélé, with 𝗀𝗵, not 100% physically, as I said. And well, Iceland is far away from that team also, Ronan, that played in the Euros some years ago, but still they competed recently against Northern Ireland or Scotland, which are not bad teams. They beat Azerbaijan 5-0, but also this is a team that lost to Kosovo or Wales, for instance, recently in the Nations League. So this is the level.
Yeah, they are super inconsistent. They can beat Scotland 3-1 and then they can go on to lose twice to Kosovo. So, Iceland, it's hard to know what to expect. And you can see from the odds that we can see on the screen, 32 is what Iceland are being given to beat France. So there is absolutely no hope for them being given by the bookmakers. But France, they don't tend to rack up huge scores against teams that are in this kind of middle tier of teams, and that could be maybe help Iceland a bit, that they can maybe keep it closer than people might expect. 𝐬𝐵Appé, like Alain correctly predicted, did score in that match against Ukraine. He's up to 51 international goals. He needs 6 more to catch Giroud. He's after joining Thierry Henry as the second highest French goal scorer ever, so he could be an option at any time goal scorer, but 150 for that isn't necessarily great odds, so we probably need to look somewhere else. France, their last 2 games have both been 2-0 wins. The win against Ukraine, like you mentioned, as well as a win over Germany in the Nations League 3rd place playoff spot. And Germany, we've mentioned on the show already at the start that they aren't the Germany of the past either. So France usually don't beat teams by 2 or more goals. The last time they did beat a team by 2 or more goals was against Israel in October. So I think Iceland Asian handicap +2.5 here might be worth looking at, because I'm not necessarily sure that France are going to win 4-0 here or anything. It could be a bit tighter, and I think France will be happy enough with another 2-0 win. And yeah, I'd be happy enough as well looking at Asian handicap +2.5 for a 2-0 win. Correct score 2-0, if we were to go on that limb, is 650 for a 3rd 2-0 in a row for France. But both teams to score no is probably safest for at 154.
Perhaps already the Shams or the players looking at the games they have with their clubs ahead. Alain, how do you see? Did you like France against Ukraine?
Yes, they accomplished, but it was not an electric France. I wait always more than France when we saw the game. It's true. Maybe the team create more than usual. We saw, yes, maybe something different, especially from the wing, because in the center of the midfield, I don't wait a lot about this team with 𝐿𝐭𝐵𝐿 and 𝐶one, and he's not a creative midfielder, but in the defensive way I think is a good option. But after the 4 offensive player and the left and the right back must be productive, and yes, I saw an improvement, a team able to change the rhythm of the game, and that one was one of the limits of France in the last years. But we wait a confirmation. Ireland normally in France, they're super a lot. They're used to receive a lot of goals. 𝐿𝐵𝐵𝐿 is injured in Iceland, and that one is uh, the the technical leader now and of this team. And in my opinion, France will be reproduce the game against Ukraine. Like Ronan said, Mbappe is running for the record. The team play for him. For that reason, we will be take a risk for this game. I choose Mbappe 2 goals or more at 3.30.
Well, Patrick is telling us also Mbappe to score is almost a safe bet. 𝐿𝐿𝐴 also Mbappe to score again. Let's see also how many minutes he's playing, although again he's playing for the record. Perhaps 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐿𝐴, if you are watching the game, you decide to give him some rest ahead of the games in the Champions League or in La Liga. But Mbappe is always really focused when he's playing with Les Bleus. And the next game, the next 2 games are actually very interesting. Hungary, Portugal is the next one. We already had some comments praising Cristiano Ronaldo scoring plenty of goals against Armenia. And well, the lesser rivals, apart from Spain, we have to say that the last goals scored by Cristiano Ronaldo with Portugal usually are against weak teams, but still you have to score them. And cheers to Cristiano Ronaldo, as we all know, one of the best players ever. More surprisingly, even seen João Felix in the score sheet. These teams met, by the way, in the Euros 2024, and Portugal won 3-0 for Hungary. I'm sure, Ronan, you can analyze better than us the game against Ireland. It was a great result for Ireland, since Hungary was leading 2-0 only after 15th minute, and Ireland came back. So congratulations.
Yeah, it was one of those where actually some people were disappointed by the fact that Ireland only came back and picked up a draw, because after 15 minutes, the stadium was just kind of silent and you could only hear the Hungarian fans. And it was kind of like, Ireland's World Cup dream is over after 15 minutes of it. But then Hungary had a man sent off for an absolutely stupid challenge. The player just kind of complete head loss it was. And then for the final half an hour, Ireland just kept crossing the ball into the box over and over and over and over again from deep, creating very little because it's Ireland. And the equaliser came in the 93rd minute, and then 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐿𝐴, who's had a torrid time at Celtic before leaving, he did the full knee slide, massive celebration. Crowd went wild, and even in the press box, which is usually quite kind of calm, and when Ireland score, it's usually kind of a little clap, and yeah, we got on. Everyone was screaming and delighted with this 2-2, but maybe 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐴 should have picked the ball out of the net and went for the 3rd goal, because we were playing against 10 men and Hungary looked terrible. So based on what I've seen of Hungary, I don't fancy them to do much against Portugal, because if they made Ireland look pretty good, and Ireland were not good. That was not a good performance from Ireland. A 2-2 draw and a point, we'll take it, but it makes things harder. But yeah, Ireland, I know they scored twice early, but there were 2 massive defensive mistakes from Matt Doherty that allowed Hungary to score twice early. So Hungary, they do not have real strength all over the pitch. They're too reliant on 𝐷𝗵𝐺 𝐸𝐵𝐿𝐴. And I think Portugal should be able to easily beat Hungary in this match. Portugal's last 4 games have all had 3 or more total goals in it, so I'm expecting more goals in this. Obviously, Ireland 2, Hungary 2 was the result at the weekend, so Hungary are used to a high-scoring game now. The last team to keep a clean sheet against Portugal was Scotland back in October. That was a 0-0. Teams don't keep clean sheets against Hungary, and Hungary's only game with fewer than 3 total goals in 2025 was a 2-0 defeat to Sweden in a June friendly. They've conceded 2 or more goals in all but 1 game this year. That was a win over Azerbaijan. So yeah, this is not a team that keeps goals out. Portugal, as we've seen, and as you've said, and as our commenters have said, likes scoring goals. Cristiano Ronaldo likes adding to his international tally. He wants to close in at that 1,000 goals. So first half goals over 125 is a good option at 203. Portugal total goals over 1.5, 161. I like to look at that one too. But total goals in the match over 2.75 is good odds at 193 too.
𝐿𝐿 Alain spot on with Ireland Hungary draw. Thanks, Alain. And well, Eric it tells me to stop. Of course, Cristiano Ronaldo is scoring, but we know how focused he is with the numbers. So perhaps, Alain, if you are looking for an individual market, Cristiano Ronaldo to score could be a good one here.
Yes, it's a boring prediction, no? Because he convert the prediction of his goal boring, Cristiano. No, in spite of that, I really enjoyed to see Ireland, because big art. I don't know the exactly number of center, but it was amazing, and we saw a lot of diversion of Ireland, because a lot of center, a lot of shoot on the area, outside of the box. Yes, they deserve to draw this game. Now Hungary, yes, Hungary is back. Hungary don't offer nothing in offensive way. Hungary have three players in offensive way. Salah, Varga is in a really good moment, because he scored more than 10 goals since the beginning of the season in Champions, with the national team, and is in national league, and Szoboszlai. Except of that, it's not a collective offensive harmonia. It's boring to see the offensive phase of Hungary. After, in defensive way, I think they conceded it a lot against Ireland. Ireland deserve more, and with an Ireland maybe a little more killer, we can saw a 4-2 or 5-2 winning for Ireland, and they deserve that. And for that reason, I think Portugal will be enjoyed in this game, because Portugal, if you remember, they're super a little Hungary in the Euro, and in the Euro 2021. They suffered the game against Hungary. They suffered the physically of the team, Hungarian team. But right now, I think Hungary in the defensive phase concede much than this time. And at this moment, Varga is a good prediction to score, because he's on fire since the beginning of the season. In my opinion, Hungary can score, but Portugal will be score less, one goal more that this Hungary. For that reason, I choose the both team to score at 1.85.
Okay, Patrick and Omojoma are going for Portugal to win and over 1.5 goals in the game. Also, Patrick, Ronaldo has had two careers, one before the age of 30 and the other one after 30, much better than most of the players, indeed. And luckily, we didn't see him more with Man United, no? Thanks, or despite Erin Ten Hag. Tomorrow I want to talk with you, Ronan, about Ten Hag and Leverkusen, but it was a pity not seeing Cristiano Ronaldo much more in his second spell at Man United. Well, and the last game is a good one. Serbia, England. We saw an impressive England beating Andorra only 2-0 at home, 12 points so far for Thomas Tuchel, but again, not been impressive. I was reading and listening to the English press already commenting how things could turn really ugly for Tuchel if there is not a good result, Alain, after the Gareth Southgate era. And this could be a tricky game with Serbia fighting with Albania for the second spot in this group. They played Vlahovic and Jovic up front once again. And actually, Vlahovic has started pretty well the season. Also for Juve, he has scored even coming out from the bench, and he did the same. For Serbia, can you see problems here for England, Alain?
But Serbia is, in my opinion, one of the team where the potential is higher than the last results, because when do you check the 11 start in Serbian, and you check the bench and you saw the offensive player, wow, the condensate of talent is amazing. But we don't understand what happened with this team, with the model of play. 𝐿𝐿𝐵𝐿 is not so clear. We saw a lot of version of Serbia, and he never found the formula. Maybe this game can be a game reference for Serbia and for England, because Serbia need a prestigious result, and that one is a good moment to play against England, because England have some doubt. In the Euro, sincerely, I don't enjoy to see England, because they win with the individual talent, but we don't saw a team with a strong collective, and with a clear way to dominate the game, because this team must to dominate the game. It's clear. You see the 11 start of England. Only Spain, in my opinion, and maybe Portugal have better team. And against Andorra, I think the player prepared the match in the pub, not to take rest, and it's not a reference. This game will be a reference. And in Serbia, sometimes Serbia, when they have a lot of pressure, they suffer that atmosphere, that passion in his stadium. But I think this week is a good moment for Serbia, and Serbia probably can be catch a positive result. But in spite of that, I choose 𝐿𝐵𝐿 shoot on the target, odds 1.70.
Do you share, Ronan, our concerns about Tuchel and about England?
As an Irish person, yes, I enjoy sharing your concerns about England and Tuchel. But yeah, England, for years, this is an ongoing problem. They kind of struggle to really put teams to the sword. I know they always seem to play Andorra, but that was the English media kind of joke this week, that they always seem to have Andorra, and there was even an article in one of the newspapers that why do England play Andorra so much and not Argentina? But I think that UEFA might have to answer that question. It would have been a simple enough answer rather than even an article. But yeah, in these sort of games against teams that are a level above Andorra, England, they don't tend to win them ones by huge margins either. These are the games that they sometimes struggle in, and they do, like Alain said, kind of rely on some individual brilliance. And we saw that when these two teams played at Euro 2024, and it was Jude Bellingham goal that was the difference. And Serbia, they're able to frustrate teams. They're able to frustrate themselves, kind of like what Alain was pointing out. They don't have a kind of definitive play style. You don't kind of know what to expect. It's not clear how all their attackers are going to link up, and that should help England, because England, they do have strength everywhere, and their defence is a key part of it. Gareth Southgate made it a key part of the way England are, that they don't concede a lot of goals. So I think it could be difficult for Serbia to get goals here. I know they're on a great run at the moment. They're unbeaten since October. Every match they've played has been a competitive match, because they were in the Nations League playoff against Austria, and they won that 3-1 in aggregate to kind of help their position in the Nations League. But England have had a few kind of blips along the way. They lost to Greece in October. They had a friendly defeat in June as well, but they've won every other game they played in since the Euros. So I think this is another one where they will pick up 3 points, and that's what they've been doing. I know they haven't been great in this in Group K, but they played 4 games. They've won all 4 games. They will continue to do that. And Serbia, they're not a team that are scoring enough, in my opinion, and they've been unable to score. They weren't able to score in either times they played against Spain. Like Alain said, the only team that kind of has an 11 as good as England is Spain or maybe Portugal. And yeah, when Serbia play teams this good, they really find it hard to score. So England clean sheet 230 could be an option in this one. But I like just to say, it pains me to say it as an Irish person. I think England to win this match is probably the best bet in this one.
Well, so many good players for England, but they don't seem to click. Even if they win, this could be a scoring draw for Patrick, boring draw also for 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲. At least one shot on target. Odds are 2.18.
Yeah, interesting. I like it.
If you are looking for individual markets, playing with Arsenal, as we all know. Well, this is it for our UEFA qualifiers. Tomorrow you will see also in the channel, by the way, our 𝐿𝐭𝐚𝐲 qualifiers with the fight between Venezuela and Bolivia. The fight in Europe is really long. We just started our road to the World Cup. In the meantime, it's time for you to do your tips, to post your tips in the Oddspedia website. It's pretty easy. It's absolutely for free, and you can win some cash prizes. So I encourage you to do it. And also remember that we have rivals where you can create your own tipster competitions. Before we say goodbye, as always, I know you are waiting for this. Our safe bets. Alain, your safe bet?
Italy to win, odds 1.44.
Ronan, you're smiling.
Yeah, we've got Germany so wrong. We better get this one right. I've gone for Italy to win, odds 144.
Germany. And ACCA, Ronan?
Yeah, I've gone for Portugal total goals over 1.5, Italy Asian handicap -1, and Faroe Islands to win at 416 for total.
Faroe Islands only lost 1-0 at home.
Yes, it's my dream to go to watch the game in the stadium.
Must be nice, indeed. I thought you wanted to see the whales and the dolphins. That's pretty nasty. And the ACCA, Alain?
Sweden winning, Scotland winning, Hungary, Portugal over 2.25 goals, and Greece, Denmark over 2.25 goals for a total 7.52.
Okay, guys, thank you for your tips in this Euro trip. This week you are going to have so many videos in our channel since the European competitions, the leagues are back. And of course, next week also with the Champions League. In the meantime, let's enjoy national teams football. Thanks, Alain. Thanks, Ronan. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Bye-bye.
Ciao.